You're out in a storm, or maybe it's not even storming. Maybe it's nighttime. Maybe it's daytime. Whatever. You're in a boat, a dinghy, or tender, just a little tiny boat. Your partner falls out, somebody you care about. The last that you saw, you've said that they have swum away from the dinghy, the tender, away from you. And they're swimming towards the direction of about 1,000 yards. The boat, your sailboat that you both came in together on. So then you go awry, you float, all this. Doesn't matter about this point, just he washes up on shore. You wash up on shore. Rescuers find you or you find them. What's one of the things you're going to, when you're looking for your partner, what's one place you're for sure going to check? Right? The direction you think they're going to? The sailboat. In this case, it was Lynette Hooker that allegedly, according to her husband of 25 years, while they're living life on a boat, a sailboat, is that she bounced out and then she was swimming away from him. She was swimming towards the Soulmate. But yet, that is not where he checks for her. So how did he know, how did anyone know, that the whole time they're out there doing this, search and rescue, that Lynette hadn't made it back to the boat and maybe passed out from exhaustion and didn't radio in? See, that's like a deception detective moment where you're like, oh yeah, an innocent person would have been like, she probably's on the boat, because you're going to be optimistic that your partner's okay, and you're not nobody's finding your partner out here. You're finding a float, a float that you threw that apparently washed up, a couple hundred feet or yards away. And it just seems like common sense would be, I'm going to check the boat first. Kind of like if you told your partner, you go into, you go into a store. And before you go, you're like, do me a favor, just wait here in the car. And then you go in the store and you come out and where are you going to look for your partner? In the car. Because that's welcome to a Level 11 True Crime. Mama D coming at you again today. Today we're going to the Bahamas and we're going to be talking. I love the Bahamas, by the way. I've never been there, but everything I've seen is beautiful. And this is a couple that has sold everything they own. They've retired. They're doing their own YouTube channel, Sailing with the Hookers. And the wife, Lynette, is now missing because they went to this little place and the Abaco Inn, and yeah, they get in the boat, and then he gives this whole scenario about it being dark and a storm came up and there were 2 to 4 foot waves and she bounced out. But that's not panning out. We know that the weather wasn't pleasant and so forth, but there's also the eddy or whatever you call it that's on the edges where you could, if you are not wanting to be out at the high seas, you're already in a protected area, but you could go by the pylons and it would have been safe the whole time. So that doesn't seem to be the thing. But what happened is they found her watch. We don't know what kind of watch they found, but they didn't really find it. The truth is, Brian volunteered Lynette's watch off of the boat. And the big question we've always had was she wearing her Apple Watch? Turns out she's got 2 watches. A pink one, a light pink one, that is her Apple Watch. And then a green one that isn't an Apple Watch. Lynette didn't want to wear the green one because Brian gave it to her probably, but he did give it to her, but she didn't like it because it was too big. So she didn't wear the green one. Now we've heard that Brian gave up a watch of Lynette's. What do you want to bet it's the green one? Because the new photo, the new picture that has surfaced through Ashley Banfield, y'all, wait till you see what's on her wrist. It isn't the green one. Oh yeah. Let's say hello to a few people. I want to thank you for tuning in to our show here at 1111 True Crime. We work all kinds of cases. Right now, we're really focused on Nancy Guthrie as well as the Lynette Hooker case. And there's not a great deal of information at all times on both, so we're kind of bouncing back and forth. And for this case, I can relate to this so deeply. Not only does the Lynette Hooker and her husband, Brian Hooker, remind me of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. Yeah, both of them were Brian. Which Brian and Gabby, that set of individuals, were much younger, ended horrifically. With her being found where he had laid hands on her neck, manually. And then he allegedly took his own life and left. I had to do it to save her life because she'd gotten injured. She couldn't take the pain, so I took her out in a campground where other people are. All right, so that case leaves a bad taste in my mouth, especially when I get over here and the name of this boat is the Soulmate, and we have friends and family coming out that are not only telling us there were problems, but I've got the pictures. Again, Ashley Banfield, thank you. Hats off to you for all your work. I've got the pictures, the screenshots of what Lynette sent to her friend after alleging that Brian choked her almost out. She had severe bruising on her back and said, "My back hurts." And she took a picture. Now, that wasn't right at the time of this incident, but it's within 2 years of it. And I'm going to tell you, I've had a very DV relationship. And he's in prison now, not because of me. I divorced him. And then, unfortunately, his next person, not next, but one of his later girlfriends did not make it. And he is in prison for manslaughter. There were moments where I look back and I'm so glad that I'm alive. And so I take it personal when I listen to a lot of the way that Lynette is talking to her friends, because when I left, nobody knew what I had been through. I didn't tell people. I was embarrassed. And so I heard that from Lynette's friend that she expressed that Lynette expressed embarrassment. And I don't know what that says about Lynette or me, but I hit hard ground with that. I was like, wow, she felt the way I did. So I take this very personal. Also, Carly, as her daughter, is really grown in my heart, a place that I want her to be okay. I feel like we all can give that support that she needs. She wants to fight this in more of a civil case if it can't be done through criminal for neglect. And, everything that Brian's talking about, he's like, we were drinking all day. Well, he was driving the boat. Really, he put it on her, said she was driving the boat. I think that could be proved in some way. There's a lot to this. But the question is, where are the 9 hours? And when you see these new photos of the bruising, of the watch, yeah, she's wearing what appears to be her pink Apple Watch at 5:48 p.m. Last time she's on camera is 6:34 or somewhere. And then, I shouldn't say last time she's on camera, that's the last photo we have. So we've got a new one before that, an hour before, and you can see the watch. You know what that means? I would be on that Apple website and I'd be like, track my GPS location, connect CloudWise to my watch, and see where that watch has listed for the last known location, because Lynette appears to be wearing it at the Abaco poolside bar. And it has set me off. I'm like, that could be the answer to everything. We just need to get on that app, because it's going to give you, even if it disconnects, it's going to give the last known location. Would it show the Abaco, or might it show the Soulmate? Would it have connected to other things? Would it have given a GPS location? Latitude, longitude, right? There could be so much to this. I can't wait to share this all with you. I want to welcome you in. If you're in the live, but you just don't want to chat, thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you. And if you are on replay, you rock. I have filled the replay lounge with all kinds of goodies. And help yourself. Thank you all so much. And thanks for the likes and all the support that you've been doing. You give me an A+ when it comes to YouTube. It pushes these voiceless people out there. Everybody in Lynette's family and friends circle is saying, keep her name out there. We're getting a little bit every day further. And by golly, we are. We definitely are. So let me get over here, switch it up. Let me get it on live chat. I'm very hopeful now that I'm seeing this kind of information, because we didn't have this picture till Ashley Banfield was like, if you were there at the Abaco Inn, check your footage, and boom, somebody had a picture. So as you can see by my thumbnail, we have Lynette Hooker taking a photograph. Now you might not be able to see it, but you could blow it up, but we're gonna blow it up. And you'll be able to see that little pink band of her watch. I kid you not. All right. Are you guys ready? Yay, goodies, says Jennyville. All right. Let's get over here. Look at this. Look at this. So let me get the original picture. And because for some reason, I'll come back to that one. I wanted to, hold on. Let's sharpen it into focus. I wanted to take a minute and talk about this. Right here, are you seeing on the screen? We have Lynette taking a photograph. Maybe it's a selfie, maybe it's of the waves. Now this is on the rough side of the island. Okay, I mean by the water. Over here, let's get some drawing tools. Now we're gonna blow this up. Right here, that's Lynette. And she's taking a photograph. Over here, that's my arrow. You see Brian. No shirt, just like the bartender said. Everybody see it? Ready, says Linda Beatty. Her daughter pulled on my soul, says Jennyville. Mine too. Mine too. It's heartbreaking. Okay. So we've got our first stage of blowing it up. And right away, if you have a decent screen, and by the way, just a big shout out to Drop Dead Serious with Ashley Banfield, because she's doing an amazing job, and without her, we would be nowhere in this case. Just fact. Aw, thank you, Carla. It said, please, everyone please hit the like button on your way in, and thank you guys, thank you. Who else is here? Hey, Linda, Good to see you. Smudger in the house. Hey, Carla, glad you're feeling better. Glad you're feeling better, Smudger. We got Jennifer Swain in the house. Jennyville. All right, my loves. When you look at this, she's got her watch on. From the very moment that I heard about this case, which was right away, I was all hung up on the Apple Watch. I had a hunch, a gut, intuition, just whatever you want to call that, spidey sense. Because I'm not psychic, right? Something tells me that that watch is going to be important. And now, just like a wish come true, somebody was out taking a picture of the beautiful sea and grabbed a picture at 5:48 p.m. And look closely, my dearest. She's wearing her pink Apple Watch. That's a big deal to me. Don Logan said, impressive coverage and insights. Watches do not just drop off. So I did a whole bunch of research because I'm not an Apple Watch owner. I don't do Apple products. Just not my thing. But what it explained to me is that indeed the Apple Watch does have the tracking location device within it that you can go onto your computer, a phone, doesn't matter how far you are away from the actual watch. You can log on and you can review the GPS mapping of everywhere that watch connected, including the last place that it connected. So she has it on at the Abaco Inn. Did they make it back to the boat? And did, when he said he handed over, volunteered, how nice of you, Brian, right? You're just so effing helpful. Not, you didn't look for her, you didn't stay like you said you were going to. Yeah, for the pleading husband that was going to stay until that woman was found. That woman. He left as soon as he was released. It boggles my mind. But if I were Carly, and Carly, if you're listening, do this. Investigate that Apple Watch to see what information you can get through the cloud. I wouldn't wait, and this is just my humble amateur advice. But I wouldn't wait. I would be looking at that Apple Watch information online to see where it tagged last. Where did it timestamp last? If there's any more information on there. Because can you imagine, even if it's not attached to Lynette, which would be wild to me, it would get you closer to the vicinity of where it tagged last, hopefully. Right? Is it just me, or does that make like real-time sense? Oh, you guys are so quiet today. I don't know why people don't want to get this solved. And I say that because there's so much information available to help this woman. But yet, it's like nobody wants to get involved. So the views are down. We've got witnesses that are talking. We've got pictures that we're learning. We're actually working the case. They're getting more and more evidence. We now have the Coast Guard investigating this, but yet it's like crickets in the true crime streets. Why? Is it that everybody feels like, oh, well, it's already solved. He did it, threw her overboard. There's nothing that can be done. That is not true. There's a lot that can be done, like finding a photograph with her wearing the Apple Watch just hours, like 2 hours, before she's reported missing. That's important. We wouldn't have that, neither would the police, if somebody wasn't willing to go that extra mile. And so we need to really help Carly and Darlene, the mother of Lynette, to get the story out there. We can't just be like, oh, that'd be a headache to have to dig into that story. How would we even find her? I mean, I had one commenter, and I was so disheartened by what this commenter said. I mean, you can say, like, I think you're stupid. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, even though 99.9% of the commenters are wonderful. This commenter was like, who cares? Get back on the Nancy Guthrie case. This woman, we don't even know if she's dead. I'm like, oh my. It just blew my mind. That blew my mind. Right. Jennifer Swain said, Lynette's mother said the Apple Watch washed up on shore. But she said she didn't know if that was true. But she didn't say that it was washed up on shore. They found it on a beach. She thought they found it on a beach, but she couldn't be sure. Then, and she said you could just call it rumor because she didn't really remember, but she thought it was found on a beach. But then Carly has qualified it and said Brian gave the police, the Bahamian police, a watch off of the Soulmate. Come to find out, just a few months ago, Brian bought, how convenient, bought a second watch for Lynette. Said her other ones seemed like the battery drained too fast. It was a little bit too big for her, so she didn't wear it. So she left it on the Soulmate. Carly came for a visit. They offered her the watch, Lynette did, and Carly forgot the watch on the Soulmate, brand new in the box over there, barely worn. Is that the watch that Brian gave them? And is the Apple Watch actually still on Lynette? I would get on the app and find out. Patricia, hello, lovely. I think that everyone is just so overwhelmed with this case and Miss Nancy Guthrie's case. I know my brain is overload right now. I feel that. I do feel that. I know I'm even wearing thin, you know. Like, if this hadn't happened with the watch where I felt like I needed to talk about her Apple Watches on her wrist at 2 hours before they would have left Abaco, if we were going with the narrative that Brian's trying to sell that stinks to high heaven. She's wearing an Apple Watch. Unlike so many cases where we don't ever know if the victim is or not. That's what you heard, Linda? All right. So, obviously, that's going to be a big deal because if that Apple Watch turns out to be evidentiary and information, even if it is just the cloud reporting, which could be so incredible, it could reveal so much. It could remove about like a lot of the question of what the last movements of them logistically were. And where's the watch now? Is it really still on Lynette? If she just fell out and it's on her, maybe that she swam. You guys, Lynette swam with this Apple Watch. She went underwater photography wearing this watch. It's waterproof. It should have still been working until it was out of battery charge, in theory. You know what I'm saying? If everything's so true about Brian, it will tell us where the Apple Watch ran out of battery. And is that outside of Abaco where she fell in the water? Or did it continue to run even after she settled? Now, if his story isn't real, then that would most likely mean that it's the opposite, that she's on land. Where would I look? If it were me, he moved that boat the second he got rescued. He moved the Soulmate. Go back to where it was parked originally and go the opposite direction from the Abaco Inn and see if that's something. Because he moved that boat for a reason. He moved the Soulmate for a reason. He didn't just, oh, I want to be closer. No. It's like he forgot that if you're innocent and your wife just went missing or your partner just went missing, that you've got home base there. You're taking home base away. No way. So on that same day, we got Brian sitting there. No shirt, just sitting out there. Exactly, Joan. Where's my mouse? The watch is a big deal. Very much so. That's why I'm like on here. Because I'm like, holy crap, this could be breaking. So I want to just show you guys something. This is just blows my mind. So according to Darlene, which she shared this with Ashley, this is the icon right here where I got my arrow. Brian's icon. Problem solved. And these two people are yelling at each other or talking to each other, right? So that's a problem. They're having a problem. And then you get a sailboat and the problem's solved. Are you kidding me? That's like duping delight in print. You know what I'm saying? It's like duping delight in print. Like two people talking, facing each other. Problem. He's calling it out. And then you got the sailboat. Solved. I don't even know how to. That's just creepy. Patricia, when they need to get a warrant for the Apple to open that account. Well, is it perhaps something that her daughter can get into? I mean, a lot of the times it's a birth date for the passcode or something like that. If they have her phone, which I don't think they have her phone either. I would have already been into the account somehow. My mother's account, I would have somehow figured out how to get there. But yeah, I would already be making sure stuff is happening like that. Yay, Muffin Made Alive, welcome. Hello, lovely. This is just creepy. Creepy! Solved with the sailboat problem. But don't you think, if you saw your partner that fell out of your boat is swimming the opposite way than you, like they're just going away from you towards the sailboat, when you look there, I don't get that. All right, you guys, this is a moment that's hard to take. I'm going to show you just for a few moments. We're not going to stay on it forever. I don't need to have issues, and I'm giving you a trigger warning. It's some bruising, okay? And it's a screenshot of her back, and he allegedly put his hands on her neck, and she almost passed out. And what she was being, he's applying pressure onto her, allegedly. And so her back is probably laying on very rough stuff. Could even be metal, could be gauges, gears, whatever's in the boat. Could be an anchor. I mean, it's whatever's behind her has left such severe bruising that you can see her pelvic outline of her bones in her back. And she says, my back hurts in the little words. So I'm going to use the goat today to give you that trigger warning that I'm going to show this, and feel free to just look away. I'm not going to stay on it, so make sure, grab your screenshot if you feel you need it for your own research so that you can look deeper into it. I've studied it. This is probably the scariest thing I've seen before someone goes missing in a long time. Okay. Like I said, I'm just going to be flashing these. I'm not going to stay on it very long. You can see there's some bruising. I went ahead and I blew it up. You can see the bruising on her back, and here it is. I'm just going to enlarge it so you can see. And, yep. Did you see it? I'm not going to stay focused on it. Did you see how severe? His lawyers, he's got a new lawyer up here in Michigan. And his new lawyer's like, Brian never hurt Lynette. Never. He has never hurt her. Those pictures, if that was done by him, which Lynette was alleging he did that, it's wild. Hey, Army vet. Welcome in, lovely. So, I'm going to jump over here and show you what someone wrote. Morning Watch. Okay? This is so telling. This person wrote, now it wasn't an hour ago. I took this last week. Morning Watch posted this in my comments. New subscriber here. And a sailor. On a recorded call to his friend, Brian said he had to have someone steer to help him with pulling the anchor to move the sailboat because that was Lynette's job. Then he said he will have to spend the next day installing a windlass switch in the cockpit because he's single-handed sailing solo now. He knew she wasn't coming back. He knew she wasn't coming back, and he knew she wasn't at the sailboat, even though he never went there to look. He never even thought. Like Deception Detective is gonna say, because I'm like, not psychic, but just logically, I could see him bringing this up, that an innocent person would have already went to the sailboat as one of their first things to check. Is if the victim that was swimming in that direction away from you made it safely back to the boat. Because you're in shallow water, they're an excellent swimmer. Excellent swimmer. And they know where home base is. Why wouldn't they? If you thought they went back to the boat, why didn't you check there? But in reality, she would have swam right to that dinghy, or she would have went to the closest land. You're going to go, especially in that situation, and I just spit everywhere, you're going to go to the closest safe place. I could go on 1,000 ways and be like, you wouldn't pull the lanyard, the kill switch, and you wouldn't even be using the kill switch because you're really only going to use the kill switch if there's one of you in the boat. If you are driving and you have the kill switch and you fall out, how's the person going to come get you? And you got both of them? It doesn't happen. All right, you guys, I saved it towards the end here. I'm self-sponsoring because YouTube doesn't always pay the bills. I don't like to rely on clicks and views to pay my bills. I'd rather have my own steady income, so I have a full-time job at 1111dex.com, my wonderful, amazing, incredible shop. I handpick every single thing, and everything's very high quality. And it's proof in the pudding because we get amazing reviews. Go read them yourself. And most of the people continue to buy. Repeat customers means we're doing well. So with that, self-sponsoring, I'm talking about Jersey Girls, my favorite lotion in the world, all organic. Organic, all natural, meaning you're not putting 1,000 more chemicals onto your body. You're putting things healthy and natural. And isn't that why you're using lotion? You need it to be healthy. You want your skin healthy. And so this is raw cow's milk. Now we've got peppermint lavender, we've got orange patchouli, we have different sizes, and it's locally made right in my home area. And so I know them personally. There's no go-between, there's no AI. They are certified organic farms, and they hand milk the goats for the goat soap, which is the Milkmaid Creations. And we've got this wonderful, like, amazing healing raw cow's milk lotion. It's wonderful. So make sure and check out the shop and maybe grab yourself some lotion. All right, you guys, how's everybody doing? Linda says, OMG, I've been there. Where? I'm lost now. Still think he done it on Soulmate, not Dinghy, in your opinion. I'm with you. I have suspicions that they made it back to the boat. It's 15 minutes from the Abaco Inn to the 15 minutes, and they're going to be at the Soulmate. Abaco Inn, Soulmate. 15 minutes. What happened for 9 damn hours? Huh? I'm going to use some lotion. Now, you don't need much, and I always overdo it. What could have happened for all them hours? Makes me wonder, did they make it back to the boat? Like, what kind of heavy things in the boat that he could have weighted down her dry bag? Like, if you open the dry bag and you filled it full of really heavy, anchory things, like weighted it, and then you drop her, the dry bag's not going to be strong enough to float her to the top. It actually is going to keep her down, weighted down. So the dry bag isn't really missing. Ashley Banfield said that when Carly the daughter was in the Bahamas, and we do know it's true because we have a little bit of footage of that, that Carly went down into the boat, the sailboat, and collected a few mementos of her mother. And in that, was there something heavy missing? I'm not looking for little things. I'm talking about, did they have a backup anchor? Is that gone? Something along that lines, because he had to weighted her down. What did he weight her down with? If he did anything. You feel me? You feel me? Please do Kylie Vaughn, Mama D. What's going on with Kylie? Oh, I clicked it opened up the shop when I did that. Do you remember the movie Sleeping with the Enemy? Co-star Julia Roberts. Yeah, but this is Sleeping with the Devil. Because in the Sleeping with the Enemy, she planned it. She got away. And he thought he lost her out at sea. You think that's what happened? You think that she had this all planned and that she's safe somewhere? Or is this Sleeping with the Devil where he used that same theory, only he reverse engineered it to where he took her out? I don't know. In the UK. Well, thank you, Chloe. I'll look it up. I will definitely look it up. Let me write the name down so I can learn more. Now, my question, of course, I have a million questions. There we go. I've got Kylie's name. I'll make sure and do some research. Thank you for suggesting that, Chloe. So, my questions, I have a lot of them. One of them is, I'm thinking like Nikki. Did Lynette and Brian make it back to the Soulmate? And that's where a fight broke out. Why'd he move the boat? There was a reason. You don't just do that. Is it to get as far away from Lynette as possible? It would probably seem like that to me. To me. Wasn't the dry bag yellow? Then was said green, allegedly. The dry bag is green. Always was green. Brian told the searchers it was yellow. And he knew better. He knew better. Yeah, she had a one-way ticket home. And I think it was around the 12th of March that the friend said she received a text message from Lynette that said, I'm 10 minutes away from the airport. And the friend said, get on the plane. That was a different time, Linda. 2 years ago, she went home and then returned back. But yeah. Let me get a live chat. Yeah, it was a one-way ticket. You're right. Wasn't the dry bag yellow? Then it was said green, allegedly. No, it was green. She went home with a ticket and returned back to him. That was a different time. She had another ticket. Just this past March, she had a ticket one way to go home. She texted her friend, I'm 10 minutes away from the airport. And the friend said, get on the plane. Army vet says, during the search, Brian was in handcuffs on the deck. His attorney confirmed that because the waters were choppy, he actually fell overboard himself while trying to disembark. Ah, so sad. He was rescued by officers and treated for a knee injury. Okay. I don't care. I don't. This is the way he treated her and everything that we're hearing. There's no way I'm going to buy this story. I think Brian, just my personal opinion, is a complete liar. That's just my opinion. I think this is a fake story. Hey, Kim French, it's been a long time. Good to see you. Her daughter, Carly, stated her mom's Apple Watch was on the boat, and Brian gave it to the police. Hopefully they can find her with it. Well, she didn't say Apple Watch was given to the police. She said her watch. So technically, Lynette could have on her Apple Watch, and Brian could have given the police the green watch, because Carly never said that I can see that it was her Apple Watch. It could have been the green one. Muffin says, I think she told him that she is divorcing him and he didn't want to let her go and lose the income. In your opinion? I can't disagree. I can't disagree. Linda says, yes, in your opinion, Linda. Yes, after a few months, she went back. I didn't know about the second one. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys. So, I want to know more about the timeline. I want to understand the energies. I want to get into Brian's head. And so, I'm going to pull cards to profile Brian's energy at the time that Lynette went missing. And so, if that's your thing, feel free to join me on our next live. It'll be starting in just a few minutes. And if that's not your thing, feel free to skip this step. I appreciate you. I really want Lynette found. For Carly. I want the truth to come out too. There's a sense of pressure here to get to Lynette as soon as possible. Not only because, and I do think it's a recovery, not only because it would give her family that closure, which Carly will need and Darlene will need, but even more so because her truth could be shared in a very meaningful way if her body was found and she was still wearing that watch. So it's a big deal that this watch was found indeed. I love you so very much. I truly do. I appreciate you. Every day that I wake up and you're in my life and I am able to do this, where I get to come on and give a voice to the voiceless and not even like have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I have a platform. We can give that voice to them. And it's just waiting every day. And it's because of you. You allow me to do that. And I am grateful and I am thankful that we are so blessed to be able to help. And at Carly's request, at her friend Lynette's friend's request, and her mother's request, could you please get her face out there? Could you get that pressure put on so that the investigators know this is so very important? She doesn't have a lot of people. Lynette doesn't. But the ones she has are fighting tooth and nail. She was the kind of friend the friends are saying that's once in a lifetime. So I'm not going to let go. I'm going to be Lynette's friend, even though I never knew her. I just feel my heart connect to hers, and to Carly and Darlene. All right. With that, let's see what we can find out together in just a few minutes, and I will see you again on the flip side.
From the dust I was born, to the dirt I shall return. When my eyes are closed, in the shadows, my enemies will think they won, but I am here to stay. Destiny